Aquarius, how is everybody doing? Before we get into the reading, let's set the intention for this to be a space where everyone allows themselves to feel seen and validated, and ultimately for this to be a safe space and a healing space in alignment with everyone's highest good. My name is Gabriella, for anybody new tuning in. I do have personal readings open currently. If anybody would like to get a personal reading, you can order them only through my website, which is in this description box. My website is tarotbyg.com. If you want the spelling of that, it is below in the description box. So what I'm seeing already is that there may be some like researching that you've been doing in some sort of way, some gathering of information. I don't know specifically what this is about. However, for some of you, it seems like there's been a focus on maybe even like looking around, observing outside of yourself in order to gather what it is that you needed. And it seems like whatever gathering of information this is, I am hearing hiatus, whatever gathering of information this is that you've been doing, it seems like something is now going to be slowing down, because I'm almost getting the notion of being like studying something or like going here and retrieving that information or catching wind of this over here. It's very much like being in a space of kind of like absorbing something, trying to sort something out, being like open and curious to gathering information. And then I was seeing the Four of Swords, so it seems kind of like taking a break, maybe like collecting everything all together. This can also be like meditating on the information that you're receiving too. And I'm also getting as well that it looks like something is going to be coming to a head. It seems very much like you are in charge of making something happen. You're going to be the one laying the groundwork. Maybe this is your idea. Maybe I'm hearing field study, field research. This doesn't have to be so official as that. It can be something like, say you've been thinking about, for example, say you've been thinking about wanting to get a particular type of crystal. So you're like figuring out what it is that you want to get, what you think would best like serve you for the purpose of what you need. And so you go about like looking up those things, and then you decide on a crystal that you want to get, and that's what you're going to go for. It can be very much something like that, where you have some sort of purpose, or maybe you're gathering information to make sense of it and figure out like, what is the purpose of all of this information? What am I supposed to do with it? And it looks to me like something is going to be made or created from the information currently that you are collecting. It is going to be most helpful to you the more open you are, because sometimes there's information that we may I'm hearing prejudgment. I'm also hearing predate. There sometimes is information that will be useful to us, and because we may have some sort of like prejudice or bad experience with something, we don't want to take it into consideration, and it would actually be something that would be helpful to us. So that's also something to keep in mind as well, when it comes to discriminating between what it is that you're taking in, what it is that you're responsive to, what it is that you're open to, and also what you're writing off. A lot going on. It looks even to me like Spirit is giving you some very specific instructions when it comes to something that you're creating, something that you're manifesting. I'm hearing tied down. If you had some sort of experience and you were hoping to understand it, you were hoping to learn about it, to get to a place where you can have some sort of closure, you may find this be helpful. Be mindful. let's get a more specific example. Okay. If you had an experience with someone and you feel like their behavior falls under a certain pattern category of behavior, right? And you're trying to understand more about them, about this experience. I'm seeing it not be a pleasant experience that you had with this person. Finding out more about this may give you closure. Like, say someone ghosted you, you had a situation, and you just want to understand more about what happened. That can be helpful to a point. If you are still in a space where you're still feeling anger, animosity, just any type of interpersonal issue towards somebody where you have not like forgiven them, where you're not like wishing this person love, anything that wouldn't feel pleasant to be holding on to and wouldn't feel pleasant necessarily to be carrying. This is where we want to be careful with like how much we are exposing ourselves to energies that are closed off. If you kind of feel yourself like shrinking in and like buying into something or giving mind to something that is having you feel like closed off, angry, feeling a type of way about yourself or another person, or feeling like there's this schism is what I'm hearing, where it's like, I'm better than them because of this. It's like anything that is putting you in a space where you feel you are like judging someone or being judgmental towards somebody. This is something to pay attention to. There's a difference when it comes to like wanting to understand behavior versus having an experience and just like reliving this and recycling it so much that we're just like feeding our ego within a situation and just sitting within like our victimhood essentially rather than growing out of it. This can also be too understanding as well when we're around certain things. What things have you feeling more closed off and what things have you opening up as well? You want to be mindful of how you feel when you walk away from situations. Energetically, what are you feeling? Like when you, and it doesn't even have to be a person, it can be a situation, an environment, it can be content that you're consuming. I know this does come up often, but I'm seeing it again. It's very much like you may be focusing or opening up your energy towards something that is encouraging a closed off heart chakra. It's something you want to be mindful of because you're going to ingest whatever this is that you're watching. I want to get further because I can see a couple different ways that this may go. Because I'm seeing this as being a specific message. I'm getting somebody here doing some sort of psychology. I'm also hearing social work, and I'm seeing something relating to personality disorders. This looks a little more personal. I'm hearing club. I'm also hearing fan. I'm looking at Leo and I'm looking at Gemini. I'm seeing Cancer on the bottom of the deck. High Priestess just popped out. I'm hearing Labyrinth. The High Priestess popped out, and I'm hearing carrier with the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups is like a message coming through, something showing up for you. But this may not be a message from a person. This can be a download that you're receiving. I'm hearing let that be validation enough. I'm seeing somebody that you have this person 6 in a lot of ways. I'm seeing someone that you've kind of like read what it is with this person and where they are. Less so from a place of judgment, and I suppose more so from a place of wanting to protect your energy. It kind of seems like because of this experience that you've had where there was a major offset of energy with somebody that you were around, and this doesn't have to be a romantic situation. This can be a parent. It can be so many different things, but it kind of seems like there's this like typecast personality, which is very much like a frequency of energy that you have been exposed to, that now you understand it in a way that has taught you what is balance and what is not, what is reciprocity, what is not, and what does it mean truly when we are loyal and loving to the people that we're close with. And what does that look like as well when it's unified rather than separate, which is what the illusion of the Five of Swords is. Because the Five of Swords is like every man for himself. Don't let anybody take advantage of you. Take advantage before you're taken advantage of. And then on the other side of this, we have unity with the Lovers and this Strength card. It's about like being loyal to ourselves, being loyal to the people that we care about. It's about like reciprocity. It's about giving. It's about exchanging. It's about showing up, not just for other people, but also for you, and vice versa. And it seems like something that had tripped you up before, I don't think that it's going to be tripping you up any longer. I think that you've understood something that you were meant to understand. And I think that this also gives way for you recognizing pieces and parts of yourself that maybe you don't see as severe as what was modeled for you through your experiences in your relationships. However, these are parts of yourself that you can be like, hey, everybody's on a sliding scale somewhere when it comes to our personalities, and so maybe something isn't as severe as being able to be diagnosed as a personality disorder, but we all have those traits within us. It's just, it just doesn't meet the criteria necessarily for it to be diagnosed, and so those things still exist within us. It's just kind of on a smaller scale is the simplest way to put it. So this experience, it not only has given you an understanding of a person outside of yourself, but it's also given you more insight into yourself and maybe areas where you had been closed off. I'm hearing the word pompous. I get this feeling again like there's something that you understand the ins and the outs of that I don't think until you had this experience, and even though I'm not seeing this be like something that felt comfortable, I'm not seeing this be like a necessarily like having it feel like joyful while you were like in the midst of this happening. I'm hearing severing. There's an acknowledgement of this frequency. I'm getting the feeling that this is coming up for a reason, because usually when we start the readings going off of somebody having some sort of painful experience with someone, this can be either like we're still keeping tabs on them and it's something that we may need to cut out in order for us to like change our energy, change our energetic focus, or it can be like this person is showing up again in some capacity and you want to be mindful not to forget when you have that separation from this person and you're not standing in front of them and you don't have those energetic ties coming into play again in the same way. What is it that you're feeling when you can be more objective and to not forget that? Because for some of you, I am seeing that this was somebody that you dated. And it feels very much like your higher self has a very clear image of where they are energetically, especially in comparison to where you are. And the thing is that it's not about like who's making progress or who's not making progress, or who's healed in this way, who's healed in that way, because all of our journeys are different and progress isn't linear. The main point of this is recognizing if somebody's energy is coming towards you and you feel like you have to protect yourself, like you have to be closed off, like you're not safe. These are all things that you want to pay attention to, because it's going to have an impact on you. If something is breeding like fear and paranoia and distrust and hypervigilance, stuff like that, these are things you want to pay attention to. For some of you, I'm seeing something about like a psychic, a medium. This may be something that you do for work. There may be somebody that you are hiring even. I'm hearing better job. I'm getting something here about a past life connection with somebody, with the High Priestess and the King of Pentacles, the Six of Cups. I'm hearing old fables. Interesting. So I'm seeing the moon over here. I'm looking at Pluto, Scorpio energy. I'm seeing strong Leo energy and Gemini as well. I'm seeing the Pluto, which is Scorpio, Gemini, Leo energy all in a corner over here. And I'm seeing the moon energy kind of be separate from that. For some of you too, because of the experience that you went through, it could have actually pushed you intuitively towards a particular, I am hearing degree. I was thinking career, but degree can mean something else altogether. But yeah, there's some sort of insight that this has given you, and I'm seeing it also, I'm seeing it not just affect you potentially when it comes to your money, but also when it comes to your particular behavior. It's like even gives you more of an insight when it comes to how you face issues. I'm also hearing addictions, how you problem solve, how you face things, how you adapt. Also, too, when you're in a position where you are, for some of you, some sort of leader, or there are people that are following you in some sort of way. I'm seeing with the King of Wands here, the King of Wands usually has people that they are working with in some capacity, where they're kind of like the head of like a project, or you have some sort of important role at work where you're in charge of other people. Because the King of Wands doesn't normally work alone. There's usually like some sort of team around them, which is being emphasized here. But yeah, when it comes to like you doing things in a gracious, I'm also hearing pragmatic sort of way, and one where you're also loyal to the integrity of work that you're doing as well. A lot of things tying together because of this experience. I'm hearing you were right with the High Priestess. I keep hearing things like you were right, you knew all along. For some of you, this was a really, really difficult situation that you went through because one, I'm seeing you here have some like quite incredible gifts here related to the High Priestess, which can feel very intense and very unnerving and very ungrounding, especially when they're coming to light, especially when they are activated, especially too depending on the situation they're activated in, because usually, not always, but a lot of the time, when we have very special gifts, they're in general activated through some sort of trauma or some like severe type of experience or event that we go through. And like based off of what I'm seeing here, there could have been something, a really difficult situation that activated gifts for you. But I'm seeing something that you've gotten in touch with that's very powerful, and this may be something that you're learning about and something that you're also thinking about doing for a job, actually. Could have gone through an extremely difficult interpersonal relationship, and it's something that highlighted intuitive, psychic abilities, gifts that you have. It's like this was the situation. It's interesting because I'm kind of seeing it be like if anything was going to flip the switch for you, it was going to be this intense situation, and I'm seeing something that very much activated you in a big way. It's like, it reminds me of a spontaneous Kundalini awakening. It's like the light switch didn't like go on and then there was a flickering. I'm seeing something get like full blast. And I'm seeing somebody be in a space where they're like, okay, I'm connecting to something. I'm having this experience here. What is this thing that I'm having going on here, and like wanting to learn about it? And there's something tied in with like finances or a job that's also connected with this too, which is interesting as well. There's also an emphasis here as well on energy. Pay attention to who you are like taking advice from as well. I know we keep repeating this, but I'm seeing it be important. You want to be mindful of how you feel when you are in the midst of like absorbing energy or absorbing content or around certain people. Because you can also have people that are gifted and also speaking from a place of ego too. So that's also something to be mindful of as well. It doesn't matter what job somebody has. There are going to be people in the field that are fantastic and amazing and incredible at what they do. And there are also going to be people that may like lack integrity or may lack the same values as you. And so you want to be mindful of that. It's all about checking in with yourself and asking yourself, does this information resonate with me? And also know that there's not a cutout plan of how to use your gifts. There's not going to be an ABC of all of it, or how to go about getting a certain job, unless it's something that is very laid out. But when it comes to things that are more within the like freelance creative types of things, especially when it comes to like esoteric gifts, which I'm seeing that be a big focus here, there are things that you can learn about that are going to help you. However, most of it is just you exploring you with yourself, like reading what is presented to you, getting in touch with your guides and learning how they communicate with you, and being very mindful of what it is that you are not just signing on for, but also what it is that you're ingesting. And know too that just because somebody uses a gift in a particular way, it doesn't mean that you're meant to. And also just because you've never seen somebody use their gift in a particular way doesn't mean that you can. And that's been a very big message that I've been getting lately too, is about It's like this. Don't cut yourself off from reaching and exploring your potential just because you haven't seen somebody do something before. It is more difficult because there's not a path that's already being paved, but it gives you the opportunity to pave that path. Something could have been holding you back from doing something that you wanted to do based off of a past experience. Internalizing some sort of judgment is what I'm getting. I am hearing hyper focus. It's like you had somebody around you that, more than anything, like, was not necessarily an empowering voice within your life, and this could have very much been something that you internalized. It could have also been around being somebody where you were picking up on things intuitively, and if you brought it to this person's attention, it may not be a singular event, can be multiple people, can be multiple times. If you brought up what it was that you were feeling, what it was that you were picking up on, this could have as well been kind of shot down a bit. So you could have doubted yourself. What I'm getting more than anything is that even if these were situations that you had been in, I'm seeing you very much be like intact with the High Priestess now. So it's like no question, no doubt anymore about what it is that you have to share is what I'm hearing. You may even be looking around as well and seeing that I'm hearing the people have a lot more in common than you think, but I'm seeing this be a select group of people. What it looks like to me is that there's something that you're aspiring towards, and it's like this cohort of people that are involved in this thing that you're aspiring towards. There's something about a similar or paralleling backstory. I'm hearing how their past all connects them. I'm seeing, too, a lot of repeated themes of triumphing, overcoming, transcending adversity, having that be a very big challenge, whether this be physical circumstances, mental circumstances, a multitude of circumstances, and about being able to get out of maybe the toughest situation one could find themselves in and find a way out of it. Consistency and self-belief. This can also be a lack of support, a lack of community. It's like all these things that have us feeling like we are alone. And like there's no way for us to get out of the circumstances that we're in when we're struggling. I'm seeing like so many different storylines, so many different situations of like being in these like seemingly impossible situations. I'm hearing precursor and then one finding their way out. It seems like miraculous. the circumstances that have been overcome. Interesting. I'm hearing shifting plate. This reminds me of a poem that I know. I want to see if anything else comes through about that. So the challenge was overcoming a seemingly impossible situation, extricating oneself through, I'm hearing extricating oneself of the disillusionment through introspection. I'm getting a name with an F here. I'm hearing Florence. Which is interesting because I was also hearing, in the beginning of the reading, I was hearing a lot of like Italian words, Italian conversation. That may be a specific message. Okay, so let's look at it from the top. I'm hearing critical with the Five of Swords. Initially, it seemed more like a critical situation sort of thing, but I'm also with the Five of Swords too. This can be a situation that you're in where you had been with someone that was critical of something of yours. This can also be you telling yourself that like talking yourself down in some sort of way. So it's like your intuition is like, hey, hi, what's up, I'm here. You have you have my number now, let's chat when you want to connect with me. And there could have been something going on where you were like, I think I got the wrong number. And it's like, no, you had the right number all along. You've had that access all along. It's just been about believing that. What I'm getting to is that there's something important going on here. Whatever situation this was, or this person, or this environment, or this self-talk space that is discouraging you and making it harder to connect with your intuition, if you are still in any way engaging in that, whatever this is, whether this be a person, a self-talk space, a place, something that you're watching, whatever this is that has you feeling like closing your heart chakra off, has you like harboring negative emotions like anger and resentment and like having a hard time accepting things, stuff that's like not allowing you to process through to a healed space, this is not something that you want to keep paying attention to. So it's like, we don't need to keep checking up on the ex that cheated on you, for example. It's like all of these things. It's about minding our own business rather than minding anybody else's business, and allowing that energy to come back into your connection with you. So if there's anything that you are giving your energy to that you don't feel good, it doesn't feel good to give your energy to that. It doesn't energize you. It doesn't bring you a sense of peace. It doesn't bring you a sense of happiness. It doesn't ground you. Then it's something to check into. Why am I still doing this? And is this something that I don't need to do anymore? And it seems like that's also going to help you prevail within a situation that may feel quite difficult right now, actually. I do again get this feeling like maybe for a small portion of you, there could be something going on with something related to money or a job, a financial situation. And it's like the longer you pay attention to this energy that you're like harboring these feelings towards, the more it's taking away from you stepping into your masculine energy, which would be you becoming independent financially. So for those of you specifically that this is speaking to, I'm seeing like this little section right here. If there's something going on where what you crave is to be independent financially, if you put your energy into you achieving that for yourself, rather than paying attention to this other person. Even if you feel like somebody wronged you, like maybe they did, like this person was wrong, you were right, whatever it is, at the end of the day, if we just get rid of all of that and just focus on what you want to be focusing on rather than what you don't want to be focusing on, I'm seeing that that's definitely going to give you a boost, especially with a very tricky situation, because I'm seeing something that's going to take all of your focus and energy, and the more you're giving to this person or this situation where you felt like wronged in some sort of way, it's taking away from you being able to succeed in this other thing that you want to succeed in. So that's why a shift of focus is needed. I'm hearing corduroy. It looks too like there's some sort of debt, there's some sort of compensation, there's something going on connected with your past and also a karmic test. I can't speak to that anymore, but I'm definitely seeing a rebalancing of the scales here based off of something historical, and I'm seeing this be, I'm hearing karmically enveloped. This seems like something bigger than just it seems like something bigger than 3D that's relevant to. For those of you that are still in a partnership where you may be on the fence with something, or you're not feeling a whole lot of peace about it, or there's still something going on that you don't feel is healthy, it seems like this is the time to look into that. And it doesn't just have to be a romantic relationship. This can be like business partnerships. It can be you with your coworkers. It can be you and a boss. It can be a parent, a sibling. When it comes to your close interpersonal relationships, this is about looking at all of them and being like, just sizing everything up with the focus, like what is bringing me a sense of peace and what is bringing chaos into my life. And how do I achieve this sense of peace? And there may be some tough choices that you're going to be making. I'm seeing something kind of fall on you to be doing for yourself. And these may not necessarily be, the easiest choices to be making. However, keeping your peace in mind, if that is what you want, that is what you are going to get. And there's a notion here of like making the brave choice here to find your own resolution and also to strive for peace, or to feel like more calmed down, or to feel away even from the chaos of something that you don't need to be a part of, something that you are giving yourself permission now to let go of. Finding the strength in your choices that you're making and in the responsibility that you have. I'm also seeing there be a focus on like you reflecting more when it comes to like, how do I move on from this, or how do I find peace within this situation? There's more of like keeping to yourself and thinking things over. It seems too like there's a notion of moving quietly here as well. So rather than feeling the need to be ostentatious about what it is that you're doing, to be more, maybe even modest, or just private even. Especially when it comes to the moves that you're making, it's like being able to find the strength within like your conversations with yourself and your decisions with yourself, making moves that you want to make independent from other people and their opinions, doing it for you and reflecting on it and being like, I'm in a good place with this because I came to this conclusion myself and I'm going to show up for myself here within this. I'm looking at Gemini, Leo, Pluto, Virgo, and the moon. Okay, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everybody for joining. Thank you for tuning in. I'm wishing everybody love and light and healing, and I hope to catch you guys next time.